So for today's video, I'm showcasing off the Open All Interiors mod for Bully. Now before I begin this video, I want to say that if you are going to use this mod, you do need to actually have a new save game. You cannot use one of your old save games. Don't worry, your game isn't going to crash or anything like that. It just will make no difference at all. Anyway, once you start up a new game, you realise that pretty much all the doors inside the academy, and the outer world should I say, now actually have blue arrows, meaning Jimmy can now enter these at will. Now, some of these rooms won't actually lead anywhere, others will actually lead Jimmy to interiors. This is actually the case for most of the interiors in the academy, and the order of the classrooms is completely screwed up as well. Like here I'm in the auditorium, which seems to actually be a fully functioning interior. Like, you know, I can walk in here, everything's solid, well, not everything, but you get the idea. And of course we've got an exit trigger here. However, some other places in the academy don't actually have this. Like, for example, if we try to enter the chemistry class, for example, Jimmy will just kick open the door and he won't actually enter chemistry. Same with this classroom here. This is actually because, for some reason, I don't know if it's like an actual beta map change or anything, or if it's just the way the mod author made this mod or anything, but if we try to enter the chemistry class through this door, we can actually explore it, even though this isn't the chemistry class. Now, back to what I was saying, that like some of these interiors, even though they're complete, they don't actually have like an exit trigger. For example, the chemistry class doesn't actually appear to have an exit trigger, but it does. If we run up to the door and press Y, Jimmy will just get instantly knocked out because he gets teleported halfway outside the academy. Other interiors, like the art classroom, don't actually have an exit trigger at all, which is why I advise you actually have a mod like the super mod installed with it. So just in case you actually do get stuck inside one of these interiors, Jimmy can easily get back out. Just to show it off, like here I am in the art classroom, everything's solid and all that, but I can't get out. And yeah, the best thing about this mod as well is it actually replaces the trigger files, which means that like even if you use the super mod, this mod is fully compatible with it. And yes, this mod doesn't just affect the academy either, it actually affects most areas outside the academy as well. Now, off the top of my head, there's only two places that you cannot access, and that's Dr. Crabblesnitch's office and the junkyard from fighting Johnny Vincent. This is probably because those areas don't actually have a trigger and they're loaded up, you know, just for a cutscene or two, or in fighting Johnny Vincent's case, just for a single mission. Now, as we drive into town, you'll realise that most of the stores now actually have this like blue arrow as well. This doesn't mean that Jimmy can actually explore like these shops, like the J shop or the Mexican restaurant or anything. This is just like one of those fake doors which is used to spawn and despawn pedestrians. Like if we open this door, Jimmy will just go right in. You know, and like, yeah, nothing's really in here. And it's kind of interesting as well, because some of you may know Rocket in My Pocket as being the beta store where Jimmy could buy fireworks from. Some interiors as well will lead to a soft lock in the game. Like if Jimmy enters this, the little cutscene thing plays, you know, where Jimmy enters the door, but you know, like I can't actually move. So once again, I advise you have like the super mod, you know, ready, so if you do get stuck in one of these places, you can easily get out. One thing I've noticed with this mod as well is sometimes doing that, it can actually break doors. Because when I first tried to enter Rocket in My Pocket, when I tried to enter another door room, you know what I'm saying, you know, for some reason the game actually saw went into a soft lock till Jimmy was knocked out. That's just something to be wary about, because it hasn't happened to me this time, but it might happen to me again next time. This mod as well can also be used to actually access interiors Jimmy's not supposed to be in. For example, if we go to the comic book store, you'll realise that the door still says employees only. This is because I'm on chapter 2, you know, I've got Beach Rumble at the ready. But if we look here, I can actually access the Nerd Safehouse. And it's kind of interesting to note as well that even though I haven't unlocked the Nerd Safehouse, I can actually still save my game here and sleep. I think. Yeah, I can save my game here, and if I go inside I can actually sleep. So I think this mod can actually be used to gain access to safe houses before you unlock them. And the only doors I don't think it can open are the gates to the academy, since they're not really something used by pedestrians. So if we go down to New Coventry, I think we can actually enter, yeah, we can actually enter the Blue Ball safe house before we've unlocked it, and this is in chapter 2. Same with this door here, which isn't actually supposed to be used until you actually beat Ted in Complete Mayhem. Now, the only thing you can't actually use in the safe house is the wardrobe. Aside from that, you can still save your game here, and you can still sleep if it's past 7 o'clock. Now, to some people, this mod may be completely useless, and I can see why, since most of the doors that Jimmy can open don't actually lead anywhere. But, to me personally, I like to use this mod since it actually gives a bit more, like, liveliness to the game, if you know what I mean. Like, yeah, okay, the interiors are all dead, and no one's in there, but it's just nice to have the option, you know, where Jimmy can actually gain access to rooms where he's not supposed to. And it turns out you can't actually enter the tenements either. That's a mistake on my part, I thought you could. Now, here's a little interesting interior I found while messing around with this. You see this place here? If we enter it, Jimmy just gets knocked out. I'm pretty sure that's a beta area, because it just seems kind of weird, if you know what I mean. Like, that interior actually leads Jimmy somewhere, then he just gets knocked out. It's one of those mods that I actually do recommend for anybody who wants to just enhance Bully a little bit more, because Bully's got a load of interiors that actually go, well, unused. And I do mean that, like, a lot, because, you know, like the classrooms, for example. I think there's, like, about 4 or 5 different classrooms that Jimmy can, well, Jimmy goes in, you know, for class, but no one ever actually uses outside because, well, you know, you're not supposed to be in there. So I'm just abusing the super mod here to just get access to the chem plant, because I can't be asked actually, like, going there properly. And I'm pretty sure we can access the power plant. Yeah, we can. However, this is one of those interiors that if Jimmy enters, he can't... Oh, okay. That's proved me wrong. Ignore what I said. It turns out you can, I think. Yeah, never mind what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure that when I went in here, first of all, you couldn't actually get out. The only issue is with interiors like the power plant, it's kind of difficult for Jimmy to actually get out of here without mods as well. Like, for example, you can't actually use the elevator Edgar uses to get back up to the plant. So if you actually want to get out the power plant, you will need to actually have the super mod on hand again. I'm certain as well, another interior you cannot enter is actually the observatory. I'm just going to check that out now. Oh, okay, so Jimmy can't enter the observatory anyway. I'll probably put a list in the description or at the end of the video saying what interiors Jimmy can and can't enter. At the moment, it looks like you can't enter the tenements, the junkyard from fighting Johnny Vincent, Dr. Crabblesnitch's office, and some others. However, if you actually provoke somebody, as I was saying, if you actually try to provoke somebody into following you into an interior, they may actually follow you inside the interior. So if we're running the auto shop with Lucky, Peanut and Lefty behind us, here they are. Well, oh there they are, the trio. So that's really it for this video. The download link to this mod will be in the description below. And all you got to do really is just replace the trigger image and the trigger.dat files. That's all you need to replace. And obviously then start up a new game. If you don't know how to start a new game, just go to restart. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.